A young man named Jack arrives at his distant father's home after flying in from the US. Their relationship is clearly tense, and the moment Jack steps inside, the chill between him and his father David is obvious. David tries to start small talk, but Jack barely responds. When David leaves the room, Jack quietly pulls a bottle of liquor from his bag, bracing himself for what he knows will be an uneasy stay. The next morning, Jack sits by the window smoking. He notices a young woman outside hanging laundry. Curious, he steps out and finds David behind him. David casually explains he hired a housemaid named Maria, someone to help with chores and, as he says, to have a pleasant face around. Maria soon comes over and greets Jack politely. Jack replies with distant courtesy. When David leaves for a meeting, Jack is left alone with Maria. She offers him a drink, trying to chat. She asks why he's only staying a few days. Jack brushes it off, saying he and David aren't close. Maria assumes he must be closer to his mother. That remark strikes a nerve. Jack freezes, then storms off without saying more. Later, while Maria cleans, Jack wanders the house with his camera. Maria finds him and apologizes for earlier. She's surprised to learn David never told her Jack's mother had passed. Jack admits his mother died giving birth to him. It's a wound he's carried all his life, one that never closed. He feels guilty, as if his very presence cost her life. That night, David urges Jack to join him for dinner, but Jack refuses. Frustrated, he shouts at his father, demanding to be left alone. The next day, while Jack is out taking pictures again, a girl named Becky approaches him. She flirts, asking if he'd like to grab a drink sometime, but Jack shows no interest. Looking past her, he spots Maria riding down the path on her bicycle. Becky asks who she is, and Jack simply replies, "A friend." Later at the house, Jack sees Maria reading on the lawn. He secretly snaps a photo of her from a distance. In the kitchen, he asks her for a drink. While they talk, Maria asks if he has a girlfriend. Jack says no, girls his age bore him. When she mentions David wanting to spend Jack's birthday together, Jack grows upset again and walks away. Maria follows, trying to comfort him. Jack finally shares that David has never been there for him. He grew up in the US with his uncle, someone who felt more like a father. Maria opens up too, saying she once lost someone dear, just as Jack lost his mother. She tries to reassure him, saying David must care for him in some way. This moment of honesty changes things between them. Jack asks about her life, and Maria tells him she speaks several languages and could even teach him Spanish. They begin to connect. Over lunch, Jack praises her cooking and admits being around her makes him feel calm, almost safe. He shows her a picture of his mother. Maria calls her beautiful. But when she brings up his birthday again, Jack shuts down. He doesn't celebrate it. It's not a happy day for him. It's the day his mother died. Maria apologizes. Then, for the first time, she shares her own secret. When she was Jack's age, she became pregnant. Her boyfriend left, and though she wanted to end the pregnancy, her parents forced her to continue. She gave birth to a boy she instantly loved, but her parents took him away and put him up for adoption. She hasn't really spoken to them since, not even when her father passed away just a few days ago. Jack listens quietly. Later that evening, when David returns, Maria greets him at the door. David tells Jack he has to leave for a business meeting in Paris, and Maria will stay behind to take care of things. Jack is furious. He came here hoping to finally spend time with his father, but once again, David chooses work over him. That night, Jack vents to Maria. She tells him maybe it's not too late to try fixing things with David. She insists that Jack is all his father has left now. They sit down to watch TV together, and Jack finds himself stealing glances at her. Even during dinner, he can't help but notice her. Later that night, Jack looks through Maria's photos and ends up smiling for the first time in days. The next day, Maria runs into her ex-boyfriend Jacob. He admits he still cares for her and asks if they could try again. Maria refuses, saying her life is too complicated and she isn't ready. Jack, standing just behind the door, overhears everything. Later in the kitchen, Maria wishes Jack a happy birthday. He teases her, asking if she brought a gift. Maria laughs and says no, but adds she'll give him anything he wants, as long as it's not costly. Jack takes it the wrong way and bluntly tells her that he wants her. Maria blushes and tells him to stop saying such things, but Jack keeps insisting, reminding her of her promise. Maria explains it's not that simple. He's still too young, and she only sees him as a friend. Hurt, Jack accuses her of not caring for him, just like his father. Maria says she does care, but not in the way he thinks. Jack then pushes the boundary, and Maria allows it for a moment, but when he goes too far, she slaps him. Not long after, Becky stops by to see Jack. He greets her and agrees to go out with her. Maria watches them leave, feeling a sting of jealousy. Becky kisses Jack on the cheek and offers herself as his present, but Jack turns her down because there's only one person he wants. He rushes home, drinks to calm his nerves, and finds Maria crying. He admits that his feelings for her are real, and Maria finally breaks down too. She hugs him tightly, and Jack holds her close. For a moment, things go further, but Maria quickly snaps out of it and tells him to stop. As they sit together on the couch, Maria asks if he has ever been with anyone before. Jack admits he hasn't. She tells him again they cannot be together, but Jack says he will fall apart if she leaves him. That's when Maria promises she will never abandon him. She lets him rest his head on her lap. While stroking his hair, she advises him to try speaking with David, saying she doesn't want him to end up bitter like her. Jack finally agrees. The next day, Jack sneaks up behind her in the kitchen and kisses her neck. They are caught up in the moment when David suddenly returns. They quickly pull away and act as if nothing happened. David gives Jack a wrapped gift for his birthday. Jack accepts it but refuses to join him for dinner. Maria follows him upstairs and pleads with him to go, just for one night. She softens her words with a few kisses and a promise to spend time with him afterward. That night, Jack finally sits down with his father for a drink. He lashes out, accusing David of never loving his mother. David says he loved her more than anything, and the only reason he remarried so soon was to give Jack a normal family. Jack insists David blamed him for her death, but his father assures him it was never his fault. It was simply fate. They talk late into the night until Jack eventually falls asleep on the couch. The next morning, he wakes up to find a blanket draped over him. For the first time, he feels a small sense of peace in his father's house. Remembering his talk with David, he realizes he may have been wrong all along. Maybe David did care for him, he just never knew how to show it. Jack later finds Maria and tells her he wants to spend the whole day with her before he leaves. She smiles softly, and they decide to go out together. They walk to a nearby park, resting under the trees, and share a tender kiss. Maria later takes Jack to her home, and the young man feels nervous because it will be his first time. She begins to undress, but just as they are about to cross the line, Maria suddenly breaks down in tears. She confesses that after giving up her son for adoption, she once tried to find him. Years passed, and when she finally did, she discovered he had died in a hit-and-run accident. She blames herself, believing that if she had kept him, he might still be alive. Jack holds her close. He understands her pain, because he has carried his own version of it since the day he was born. As her tears fade, Maria kisses him again, and their bond deepens, built on shared loss. They give in to their feelings. It is Jack's first time, and for Maria, it's an emotion she thought she would never allow herself to feel again. Afterward, they lie together in bed, speaking softly. Jack tells her she would have been a wonderful mother, and that he loves her deeply. Maria tells him she loves him too, and they embrace once more. Later that day, Jack returns home, and this time he speaks to David with warmth. David is surprised but relieved. Jack begins packing his bags while Maria waits downstairs. Before leaving, Jack pulls her aside and kisses her one last time. Maria doesn't promise anything, but says she might visit him in the States, and that is enough for him. Jack finally hugs his father before getting into a cab, leaving Maria behind with David. Days later, Maria visits her mother, a woman she hasn't seen in years. She sits with her and reveals what happened to the son they gave up for adoption. Her mother breaks down, crying as she admits she never knew. They weep together, and for the first time in years, they find peace.